If you will, please comment below. You didn't fail. You just haven't finished yet. It's not over because you haven't won yet. I know that's a lot, but I'll just say comment below. You didn't fail. You have not finished yet. Now, to begin the conversation, I think it's important for me to remind all of us as we're on this journey of growth, as we're aiming to become the greatest version of ourselves, as we're working towards our particular goals and aiming to accomplish success. The truth of the matter is this: we all fail. Every single one of us, no matter what you are aiming to build in your life, no matter what you're aiming to accomplish, we all are going to fail. None of us are going to get it right every single time. There's going to be moments when we fall short, times when it doesn't necessarily work out the way that we initially thought it would. There's going to be times when we experience setbacks and temporary moments of defeat. So if you find yourself in this position right now, don't think that you're the only one that's falling short or making a mistake or experiencing failure, okay? Because we all fail. That's not what matters the most. What matters the most is your next step. What you decide to do after you fail, after you fall short, is what often shapes us. In fact, it's not the setbacks that stop us, family, but it's our response to them, right? It's our response that determines whether we move forward or we stay stuck, whether we grow or we sink into our frustration, or we give in to our discouragement and throw in the towel and quit. Today, I want to talk about how if we can change our relationship with failure and temporary moments of defeat, then we can change the game for our lives. Like, we can learn to turn those moments of setbacks and those moments of frustration and temporary moments of defeat into experiences that will assist us in growing, evolving, and bettering ourselves and improving our outcomes and results in life. In this session, I want to briefly talk about, again, how we can turn these setbacks into setups, right? These frustrating moments into comebacks that will help us achieve greater and accomplish things that in many cases we never even thought we could, simply by adjusting our perspective. So whether you're struggling in school, building a business, your career, your fitness goals, your personal goals, whatever the case may be, this message is for you. So let's dive into it, okay? Comment below this statement: perspective. Perspective. That's what I really want to drill into our mindset today, the importance of us maintaining an effective perspective. Because keep this in mind: nothing changes your life more than your perspective, right? Literally, like, no matter what you're experiencing, no matter what you're currently facing, if you can shift your perspective in a positive way, you can create a positive outcome and positive results. So if you want to make a power move, if you want to create a shift in your life, you first have to start by adjusting your perspective. And I remember coming across this quote that shifted my perspective and the way that I looked at moments of defeat and setbacks and failures that I experienced. It was a quote that came from Nelson Mandela. And we've all have maybe heard this quote, but I really want to break down this quote and how we can begin to integrate it into our day-to-day life and the journey that we're on to build a better experience in this journey that we call life, right? But Nelson Mandela once said, family, he said, "I never lose." He said, "I never lose. I either win or I learn." Let me say that again for the people in the back in case we missed it. Nelson Mandela said, hey, I've experienced some setbacks. I've experienced some difficult moments. I've experienced some times and some things that have occurred in my life where I got the short end of the stick, but I never lose, right? I'm either winning or I'm going to learn from the situation. And I think this is a very interesting take on how to deal with challenges, because naturally, if we're honest with ourselves, we all have a tendency to instinctively react to situations that make us uncomfortable. Those setbacks, those failures, those mistakes. In many cases, we often get discouraged because of our lack of progress. We feel disappointed because we feel as if we're not where we want to be in life, right? We look at our situation and we feel, hey, things should be better. I should be further than where I am right now. This is not working the way that I initially planned it to, right? And if you're not careful, those disempowering emotions can hijack your mindset and put you into a state of defeat, where in some cases you abandon your goals, right? But if we can learn to begin to adopt that mindset that Nelson Mandela is really providing us with, that, hey, yeah, you're going to experience some setbacks, but you have to understand you're not losing. You're learning. You're evolving. You're growing. You're developing because of the challenges that you're experiencing. And I believe this is a reminder for each and every single one of us, because it's important to understand anytime you're building something, anytime you're aiming to accomplish something worthwhile, there's a journey that you have to take. Growth is a process, right? Personal achievement is a journey. Anything that you want to accomplish that's going to stretch you, it's not going to happen with the snap of your fingers. In many cases, it won't happen the first time you make the attempt. But throughout that process, we have to maintain a positive perspective, and that perspective can shape the way that we feel. And if we can adjust how we feel internally, we can begin to show up more effectively and create better outcomes and better results. Everybody comment below. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. For that one that woke up this morning feeling discouraged, hey, it's all coming together. For that one that's feeling disappointed because of the lack of progress that you're experiencing, remind yourself, hey, it's all coming together. In many cases, family, it can often seem like we're failing when we find ourselves in the middle. Let me say it this way. Everything often looks like it's a failure when you find yourself in the middle. When you're in the middle of baking a cake, right? The kitchen is a complete mess. There's things all over the place. But a masterpiece can be developed and put in place if you stick with the process. For those of us that have ever been in a surgery room, right? If you're in the room and somebody's getting, some type of surgery done, it can often look like there's a murder taking place because it's in the middle of the surgery. But what's really happening is this restoration and healing that's taking place. Right? Things often seem like they're falling apart and we're failing in the middle. A few weeks ago, I was at this museum in Chicago, and they had this exhibit, and they were talking about spaceships and traveling into the solar system. And they talked about how, on average, when they send a rocket to the moon, 90% of the time, the rocket is going in the wrong direction. 90% of the time, the trajectory is off. But what happens is it recalibrates itself, right? They make the necessary calculations and they're making micro adjustments, and it's constantly correcting its route to eventually get to its destination. In other words, it fails its way into the right path, right? It's constantly making these micro adjustments. And I believe that is so symbolic to the journey of growth, the journey of success, the journey of personal achievement. We're going to make mistakes along the way, but we have to make those micro adjustments on a continuous basis to get to the proper destination. But in order to do that, family, we've got to have the right perspective. So let me wrap it up by giving us 3 calls to action. Okay, 3 things that we can start doing right now to assist us in maintaining an effective perspective, especially as we approach moments of temporary defeats and setbacks and failures and rejections. Here's what we have to keep in mind when we come face to face with those things as we step into this week's opportunities. Number 1, everybody comment below. Remember what you want. Remember what you want. You don't want to allow your emotions to force you into a state where you abandon your goals. A lot of times when we're working towards something and we get hit with the rejection, we get hit with the disappointment, we're focused in on the negative thing that is taking place, and we forget what we really desire and the things that we truly want because we're so locked in on what we don't want or how we feel in the moment. This is why it's so very critical that you make it a habit to remind yourself of what you truly want. Because again, when you look at your reality and when you envision your dream, there may be a gap between the two of those. And if that gap is filled with the emotion of discouragement or disappointment, You may be blinded by those emotions and again be in a state where you abandon your goals. So get into the habit every single day, maybe even frequently throughout the day, of reminding yourself this is what we're aiming to accomplish. This is the person that we're aiming to become. This is the success that we're going to create. These are the generational cycles that we're going to break. This is the progress that we're going to build towards our goals. This is the life that we're going to manifest for us and our family and generations to come. You got to remember what you want. That's number one. Number two is this, family. Shift your perspective. Everybody comment below. Shift your perspective. Again, we've talked about the importance of maintaining an effective perspective, but let's make it a habit of continuously shifting our perspective in an empowering way. Here's how we're going to do it. When you come face to face with a challenge, maybe you do make a mistake. Maybe you do fail at something. Rather than being stuck in your frustration, I want you to ask yourself a series of questions. Here's 3 questions that I can provide you to help you shift your perspective in an empowering way. Number 1, ask yourself, what did I learn from this? Very simple. What did I learn from this? Number 2, how can I use this experience to make me better? Then lastly, the third question you can ask yourself is, how can I approach this situation differently next time to create a better outcome and a better result? Here's what we're doing on a psychological level. The moment you find something positive in a negative situation, you win. Man, I wish we had time to break that down, y'all. The moment you can shift your perspective in a positive way in a difficult experience, in a challenging moment in your life, the moment you find something positive, you seek out the value in that experience, that's when you position yourself to get the win. So by asking questions like, hey, what can I learn from this? How can I use this in a way to make me better? Now you're turning this misfortune into a moment of profit because you're seeking out the value within that experience. And as you seek out the value, now you're shifting your perspective in a positive way. And if I can maintain a positive perspective, I can be empowered. If I'm empowered in my state, now I can make decisions that keep me in alignment with my vision, my purpose, and my goals. Lastly, third thing that we can do, family, to help us maintain that effective perspective is you got to keep showing up. You got to keep showing up. I know there's been times when you made a mistake and it didn't work out and you felt like giving up. I know there's been times and experiences that we've all had where you gave your all. Like you prepared for the moment, you put in the necessary work, you applied your best effort, and you still fell short. And those are frustrating times. And maybe you did give up. Maybe historically you've adopted this habit of quitting. But today I want you to change things. Make the executive decision that you're going to keep showing up. You're going to channel that energy in a positive and a productive way to find the way that works best for you, right? And when I say find the way that works best for you, I believe it's important for me to bring this into the conversation. It's not a matter of us just trying harder, right? Sometimes trying harder can often lead to just strict burnout, right? Where you're applying your best effort, doing the same thing over and over again, but getting the same outcomes and the same results. It's not enough just to try harder. Try smarter. Try smarter. Real quick story. I can remember a few years ago, I'm sitting in my office and I'm working. It's during a summer day. Sun is shining. I got the window open and I kept hearing this buzz noise, right? Like zoom, zoom, zoom. I look to my left and I see this fly just charging towards the window. And it was clear and evident that this fly is trying to get outside of the house. It's inside of my office. All I kept hearing was this supercharged, like zoom, charging, hitting this window. What the fly didn't realize was that that window was wide open. It kept trying harder to hit the same location. All it needed to do was adjust its route and the path that it was taking and go a little lower and go clearly outside of this window to get to the destination that it desired. What's the point in this story, family? What I'm saying is this. Trying harder is like that fly just charging towards that window, doing the same thing over and over again and bumping its head, probably getting a headache, frustrated in the process because you're getting the same result. No, it's not a matter of trying harder. It's about trying smarter. Try a different alternative. Try a different route. Do things differently. I'm talking about the faith in the familiar can often be a trap for you. Really, just being comfortable with the status quo can get you into a mess. Disrupt the normal routine. Maybe it's your mindset. Maybe it's your approach. Maybe it's your habitual behavior, your habits that maybe worked for you in the past but are not serving you today. Do something different to get a different outcome and a better result. In order to do things that you've never done before, sometimes you have to approach it differently to create better outcomes and better results. So again, to maintain an effective perspective as we approach this week's opportunities, because there's going to be times when we do experience temporary moments of defeat, challenges and setbacks, times of failure. It's in those moments, again, number one, remember what you want. Remember what you're aiming to accomplish. Remember who you're aiming to become and the success that you're looking to build in your life. And number two, be sure to shift your perspective. When you find yourself face to face with temporary moments of failure and defeat, ask yourself those very pivotal questions. What can I learn from this? How can I use this to make me better? How can I approach this differently to create a better outcome and a better result? And then lastly, keep showing up. Don't just try harder. Try smarter. Don't just do the regular. Try a new approach. Make some shifts. Try a different path, an alternative route to create a better outcome. But nonetheless, what I'm saying in this conversation is this. All of us are going to fail. Every single one of us will experience setbacks. It's those that learn from them. It's those that grow from them that achieve success. Remember, we never lose. We either win or we learn. If you slid into this broadcast and I was unable to give you a shout out, be sure to comment below. And if in fact this is your first time, or maybe your first time in a long time, I want to shout you out. Put a number 1 in the chat and then place your first name afterward. Again, place a number 1 in the chat and then put your first name afterward. I would truly appreciate that. I'm hoping that somebody somewhere found some value from this discussion. If you found value in this broadcast, please put some fists up in the comments below. Let your boy D1 know that you were picking up what I was putting down and you were made better because you tapped into this broadcast. Latoya, I see you. That's what I did with my recent job interview. That wasn't for me. It just wasn't God. It just wasn't what God had for me. I had something better. Amen to that, sis. Perspective is key. Appreciate you, Angel. Absolutely. Rashonda is in the building. I will listen to the replay. Excellent. Glad to have you tapped in live. Hope all is well with you. When it doesn't challenge me, it will not change me. That's the mindset, Mia, for sure. Randy Johnson is in the building. Hope all is well with you, champ. Let's get that win tonight, man. Let's get that win tonight. Pacers in 6. This was a great one. Excellent. Excellent. For those that did find value in the broadcast, please share this out with the people that you personally care about. Again, for those watching this on Facebook, you can actually tag somebody in the chat or share this with your entire network. For those watching this on Twitter, formerly known as X, I guess X, formerly known as Twitter, rather. We can't see your comments, but nonetheless, you can still engage by simply retweeting this out. For those watching this on LinkedIn, you can share this with your professional network. And for everybody, matter of fact, everybody that's tapped in on YouTube, hit the like button if you would, please. It goes a long way in the algorithm. And then share the link out with at least 3 people that you personally know that could benefit from this discussion. I know you know somebody that may be struggling with failure, temporary moments of defeat. We have all been there, y'all. Every single time you're aiming to accomplish something worthwhile, there will be challenges. There will be some opposition and resistance where you experience setbacks and moments of failure. And so many people give up simply because they allow those negative emotions to hijack their mindset. So again, let's apply these strategies and these insights from today's discussion so we can overcome that particular challenge. But please share this out with somebody that you know that can benefit from this discussion. I would truly appreciate that. Before we wrap it up, family, if we've yet to connect on other platforms, be sure to connect with your boy. I'm at the number 1 Gibson on Instagram, also on Facebook. Check out the YouTube channel. One thing I've been intentional about in 2025 is expanding our community on that platform. That's where all of my long-form content, short films, and documentary series is available exclusively there on the YouTube channel. So visit youtube.com/David Gibson. And if you're on LinkedIn, tap into your boy there. Connect with me on your professional network. Simply search David Gibson. I believe my name will come up. And I often get asked, hey, D1, how can I support your mission and the work that you're doing financially from a monetary standpoint? You can connect with me on Cash App. That's at $D1 Gibson. We truly appreciate your support. I know many of us do contribute, and I truly appreciate each and every single one of you to help us continue these messages, providing insights to leaders like yourself so we can all show up more effectively and be the best version of ourselves. Again, that's Cash App, $D1 Gibson. We truly appreciate that. Also, for more information on my coaching and speaking services, tap into the website elevationisAmust.com. And while you are there, connect with my online store where I have books, ebooks that you can purchase, resources that you can download, all designed to help you master your mindset, adopt successful practices, and again, become the best version of yourself. Again, that's all available at elevationisAmust.com. With that being said, family, let's wrap this thing up. You got dreams to catch and success to create, so we each got to get busy being great. Fell forward this week, y'all. Challenge yourself. Step outside of your comfort zone. And as you experience those moments of defeat, those temporary moments of defeat, remember what you want, shift your perspective, and keep showing up. Now, if you find yourself in a difficult situation or a challenging experience, come real close to your cell phone device or your laptop or TV, whatever you're using to listen to this stream. Hear me clearly. It's only temporary. This too shall pass. So don't make a permanent decision that's based upon a temporary feeling, a temporary circumstance. Things will get better. In fact, you're becoming better because of everything that you're experiencing. You're becoming stronger, wiser, more effective, more powerful. So don't you give up. There's a blessing on the other side of this. There's a greater reward on the other side of this. You got to keep persisting until you succeed. I understand you. You got tears rolling down your face. It's been hard. It's been tough for you. It's been rough. But as it's getting rougher, you got to get tougher and stay determined to make this thing work. Whatever you do, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your purpose. You keep persisting until you succeed. And if nobody else tells you that they love you today, remember, your brother from another mother, D1 Gibson, has nothing but love for each and every single one of you. With all of that being said, family, as we approach this week's opportunities, be effective, be successful, live with some passion this week. Go get everything that's got your name on it. And most importantly, join in with your boy with 3 pounds to your chest. 1, 2, 3. Be powerful. Thank you each for tuning into today's conversation. Again, I'm hoping that you found value in this broadcast. Have a phenomenal Monday. And again, an extraordinary week. I'll see you all next week, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday morning. And by that time, the NBA Pacers will probably be the NBA champions. Nothing but love, y'all. Have a phenomenal week. Peace.